And the four of us went for a walk, and it was in that walk outside of your parents' place that we sort of made a pact, that we were going to share everything with each other. We were going to share every moment. What were the difficulties? What were the challenges? We didn't even know what they were, but there was that sense of the four of us being able to do this together. And I think that's why Courageous Parents Network, I think, is such an incredibly powerful thing, is that some people are blessed with the connections, with the networks, with the resources to create what we were able to create in terms of making very, very difficult choices, having each other to weigh those choices, making choices that were not necessarily what the medical community would tell you to do, but being able to deeply care for our children and do it together. We were able to do that because we had each other.
Absolutely. And the first thing we did on that walk over Thanksgiving, the four of us, was pledged to create a safe space for the four of us where we would never judge each other for the decisions we made, and we would support each other and teach each other as much as we could about decisions we were making and what we were learning, but that we would never judge. We created a judgment-free space around the care.
Yeah.
That was the first critical step, and there's no reason other parents can't do that. I think that's what CPN is all about.
Yeah.
At some point, a few months later, when maybe it couldn't have been a year later, because you guys had to make some very critical decisions about your path of care.
Yeah.
But at some point, a few months later, we went on a call together, because we weren't physically in this. You were at home in New York and we were in Boston. But we made a specific appointment to share with each other our long-term care plans. And I think we intuited that we were where each of us were. But we wanted to honor each other by telling each other our care plans, but we knew it was a safe space to do that. Mm-hmm. And we were going to be fine with whatever each of us chose, and then we were going to know what our worldviews were going forward. Now, as it happened, we all chose very similar care plans. We chose plans that in our view that were factually less interventionist, and more focused on quality of life and palliative care.
Yeah.
And so we then began a new chapter of supporting and learning around the same care plan, but it would have been okay if we chose a different care plan.
Yes, it would have. I think two things. One is, first of all, I think what's really interesting is one of our guiding points, and I think in some ways it probably came from your moment of some of your realizations around the Buddhist teachings, and then also in the conversations the four of us had. But there was a guiding point that we had, which was, even though Hayden never actually spoke, that what we were going to try to do was have a plan where we were just so quiet and centered and putting out the noise of the medical community and the noise of even the suffering in a way.
Right.
Is to try to just listen to him.
Right.
We had to define that. But I think all of us really, it was like, how are we listening
to our children,
as sort of different as that seems. There were three really key points in the journey, which were the care plan connected to, and I think it was amazing how we sort of dealt with those together.
Right. It would have been a blessing. It was very important that we created space for each of us to have a different care plan, mm-hmm. and to support each other through that. It was a profound blessing that we chose the same care plan, and there is a power to having a mentorship and guidance from other parents who are on a similar care journey that you've chosen, because you can reinforce things like that.
Yeah.
You can reinforce things that run a little bit against the medical grain, and say, and your self-confidence and your ability to hear your child and to know that you're making the best decisions in their best interest is reinforced by parents who can be a part of a community with you, and also learn and also be humble about what we don't know. But there's something powerful, and it was a blessing that we shared that care journey decision.